Your free agency last summer was one of the most fascinating free agencies that I've seen in recent memory. And you and I talked a bunch prior to free agency, during free agency, kind of when the contract, was happening and you were negotiating the terms of it or whatever. But you were one of the last guys to sign. As a restricted free agent, you can get sort of caught up in the numbers game, and if you don't get an offer sheet early, you kind of have to go back to the team, and they kind of have leverage essentially. That 2 or 3 week period while this was happening, can you just describe the angst that you were under?
Yeah, bro. And I kind of talked to you, throughout the whole process of it, man. It was by far the most stressful of my entire life. Those 2-3 weeks, every day just seemed like it was, 30 hours, 40 hours each day. It was just like, when talking to my agents, trying to get something done, and it's just day by day is going on. And it was frustrating for me because I think some of it, as last year was just not a good vibe not even in terms of play, but just the energy around the team that we had. So going into free agency, I didn't have a great outlook on that, just because I just had such a bad taste in my mouth about last year, because it was just a frustrating year. And for me, I wanted to get away from basketball. That summer, it was, I think one of the few years I had in my life where I just hated playing basketball, and that left a bad taste in my mouth. So I was going into free agency. I think part of it was I was going in mad, and I don't think I would. I might change things. I don't know, because that was a long 2 weeks. But I think everything kind of worked out as best as it could. And looking back, it was a great move to come back here, because Willie has really gave me a new outlook on basketball, and a new way I'm being perceived by other people in the league.
How many times a day were you checking your phone? And did you get to a point during that period of time where you just left your phone for hours at a time because you just were sick of checking it?
Oh yeah. I remember, bro. I remember the start of free agency. Me and my wife Shannon, we did the summer in Miami, and we're at this little Asian spot, and you're going in, you're thinking, this will be over, in a day, maybe 2 max. And I'm seeing all the deals go by. I'm seeing, Zoe going to Chicago, getting paid. And I'm seeing all these guys, and I'm just like, bro, like, my phone's quiet. Like, there's nothing going on, bro. And the next day was kind of like the same thing. And I'm looking at my phone, looking at Twitter, he's looking at Hoops Hype, looking at the rumors, seeing what's going on. And it got to a point where I deleted from my page, from my phone. I deleted Instagram, deleted Twitter, and just, like you said, would just leave it at random places in the house, just because I'm so tired of looking at it. Like, I just want this shit to be over. And when it was, it was a breath, a kind of like a monkey off my back. Wasn't fully happy with how things happened, but it was a breath of just relief, sigh of relief.
We usually talk about this with guys on draft night, but you're obviously in a different position. You've accomplished a ton in the league already, but does that leave any kind of chip on your shoulder or anything like that when it's that extended amount of time for someone who's done what you've done? It's not like you haven't put up numbers since you've been in the league.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was on some fuck everybody type shit. Even like the New Orleans, I was like, fuck New Orleans. This shit should have been over the first day of free agency, the second day of free agency. So that was kind of my mentality, honestly, to all 30 teams, all 30 GMs, all 30 coaches, whoever the fuck it was that wasn't me, bro. Like it was really just like, man, like fuck everybody. I got to go out there and show what I can do. And now, I'm not gonna say fuck Willie, because Willie's giving me a rebirth of my career, kind of so to say. But that's kind of how I felt, honestly, from the start of free agency to now. Really, it's just like I just got to go out there and hoop. You know what I mean? Things didn't happen how I thought they should have happened, and now I got to go out there and prove to people again, the kind of player I am, and what I think I'm worth.
On a much lighter note, do you remember what bottles you celebrated with once the contract was done?
Yeah, I didn't really do nothing crazy. I guess I had a bottle of actually it's on my J Hart seller page. I would have to look. It was like a bottle
way to plug the secondary IG page. Way to plug J Hart Cellars. If you want to know what Josh is drinking, go to J Hart Cellars.
I gotta see, but I don't really remember it, bro, because like it was cool, but like even after I got my deal, I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy with how free agency went. I wasn't happy with the deal, so I didn't really celebrate too much. I had a 02 Dom, 02 Dom, and a 18 Clos de Rose Dujac, which is definitely too young. But I thought I was gonna bring out some the DRC that I have. I have a bottle of 95 Romeo that my family got me for my birthday. I thought I was gonna bring out these bottles, and I just wasn't happy. Even after I agreed to the deal, I just wasn't happy, and I didn't feel like I had, much to celebrate, honestly.
Yeah, it's public information, so I'm not putting you on blast here, but obviously Josh is making a lot of money this year. The reason he's not happy is because the second and third year of his deals are both structured very oddly, and they're non-guaranteed. So I get the frustration. I definitely get it. And to be clear, Josh, for any normal human being, an 02 Dom, Perignon Champagne, and a 2018 Dujac Clos de Roche is baller wine. Let's be very clear on that. This is growth. Clear.
For sure. It's definitely, don't get me wrong, it's definitely good bottles of wine. But going in, even I was talking to you, bro, I was thinking I'm getting guaranteed, 4-year guaranteed deal. And I was like, I'm gonna just open some crazy shit. I'm gonna open some Latache. I'm gonna open some Eau Dujac, some Roche. I was gonna open, in my mind, I had 5 bottles of wine I was gonna open, and just in celebration. And needless to say, those 5 bottles of wine are still in the cellar, not open.
This is the problem, though, with human beings. This is the problem with human beings. I'll share an example of one of my free agencies. But what happens to NBA players in free agency? We all do this. We set expectations fairly high. We want a certain number of years. We want a certain number, a certain value on our contract per year. And when that doesn't happen in free agency, it leaves a bitter taste in our mouth. And then you get later on in your career and you're like, oh, it turned out to be a really good thing. On my honeymoon, I had to wait 10 days because everybody was waiting on LeBron to sign. That was the summer of the decision. So he signs with Miami. And I'm at a restaurant in Rome with my wife, and my agent calls me and he tells me the terms of the Chicago deal. Chicago, they were trying to get LeBron. Now they had some cap space open up, so they offered me a contract. And I had it in my mind at the time you could sign a 5-year full mid-level. And at the time it was 5 years, 35. And at the time I had put it in my head that's what I was going to sign. I would have been 31 at the end of that deal. I didn't know I would play as long as I did. So I'm thinking like, this is my one chance to get a big long-term contract. It ended up being a 3-year deal, and the third year was non-guaranteed. And I remember, and it was good money, man. I don't know why I said this, but I remember going back into the restaurant. My wife was like, "What did Arn say?" And I was like, "We're fucked. We're so fucked. We're so fucked."